Some members of the New Zealand Jewish community are speaking out after multiple unsuccessful attempts to block a senior Israeli Defence Force member from speaking at a leadership conference in Auckland. Colonel Yaron Simsolo, who was named as the head of infantry doctrine for the IDF, is due to give a speech via Zoom at the event organised by the Australian-based Union for Progressive Judaism. Laura Tupou has this exclusive report.
The New Zealand Jewish community has long wanted a leadership conference.
We haven't had a lot of stuff in New Zealand, really. And we have been crying out for some sort of leadership program or something.
We've agreed to hide the identities of these Jewish Kiwis. They fear speaking out could lead to them being ostracised by the community.
It's a social community and it's an ethnic community that I'm a part of that I don't want to be shut out of because I don't agree with their political ideology.
When the 2025 Jewish Leadership Conference pamphlet started circulating at synagogues in December, some members were horrified.
He was pictured in his uniform and it said head of infantry doctrine in the IDF, which, seems like a bit of a slap in the face.
No one was told that this would include anyone from the IDF, let alone someone so high up. We feel blindsided by it. There wasn't consultation on the speakers themselves.
I was shocked that we would support anything like that, just because it's obviously incredibly divisive.
They have attempted several times to have Colonel Yaron Simsolo removed from the event.
People have received either no response or a bit of a brush off. They've just said, oh, well, we don't have the authority to uninvite him, so we're just making that workshop optional.
In subsequent communications that I've received from the president of our synagogue, she's tried to distance herself from the decision by saying, oh, it was their personal friend, and he's not representing the IDF, he's not a spokesperson for the IDF or the government, but actually he's representing himself.
The original poster showed him clearly in uniform with his rank.
It doesn't mean that he's carried a rifle or killed anybody, but it does mean that he is part of the organization and should be viewed as that.
Colonel is the equivalent to a captain in the Navy.
It's a rank below general. If he were to be promoted, brigadier general would be his next rank up.
Associate Professor Stephen Hoadley says it's not a position that would see him in combat.
He's working with ideas, coaching in a sense, working with the code of ethics and advising the combat soldiers. They would start with the generals of the brigades, move down to the other ranks, and those are the ones carrying out the combat.
The head of Diane Yu, a community of anti-Zionist Jewish people, says it's disappointing to have a high-ranking IDF member involved.
We don't want to conflate our communities with the Israeli state and Israeli institutions, and that puts our communities in danger. And so for our community institutions to kind of recklessly invite this representative of the Israeli military into those spaces, it really encourages that conflation.
The conference is made up of in-person and webinar events and started yesterday. It's not known exactly when Colonel Yaron Simsolo will actually be presenting. Now, I contacted the Union of Progressive Judaism for an interview. They referred me to the Auckland synagogue hosting the event, and their president wouldn't comment on the story.